Hello, hello. Welcome back to Dazzle of the Day Wednesday. And as always, I am so happy to be here with you. We'll give it just a second or two for a few people to log on. But it is always my greatest joy to be with you here on Wednesdays. And just as a reminder, whether you are going to tune in live with me here or if you're going to be watching the video later on, I do love your questions. I just do. I love your questions. I love when you ask me anything about health, wealth, abundance, about overcoming perceived obstacles, whatever it might be for you that's causing you some resistance in your life, maybe causing you a little upset. I want to hear about it. I'd love to hear your question. I'd love to support you in providing you with an answer that really feels satisfying and meaningful and valuable to you. So please do ask those questions, whether they are here live or whether you don't think of the question until later and then you want to come back to the comment section and then write it down, then I want to hear from you. So thank you so much. So do ask those questions. Caitlin, I'm so happy to see you here. Thanks for joining for Dazzle of the Day Wednesday. So Dazzle of the Day Wednesdays, this is when we prioritize feeling good feelings. Yes, this is when we are prioritizing thinking, feeling good thoughts. The dazzle, as we lovingly refer to it around these parts, is when you're noticing, when you're catching, when you're collecting, basically anything that feels awesome or anything that feels pleasant in your day. Yes, so it can be anything that you notice in your day that just helps you feel happy. Yes, that helps bring your mood up a little bit. Yes, and as we are noticing, as we are collecting, as we are catching dazzles, they make us feel good. And as we feel good, we become an emotional match to our dreams and our desires, making it so much easier to receive them. Yes, and this is because of the law of attraction. The law of attraction very clearly states that like attracts like, and we get more of what we focus on. So in a way, this is how I've been talking about it lately. We must be in the same mood. We must be in the same energy state of our dreams and desires to more easily, more gracefully receive them in. Yes, so that joyful, grateful, and abundant energy, being in the awareness that there's abundance around us all the time. If only we choose, right, if only we choose to seek it. Yes, and then find it. Yeah, so the dazzle catching helps one to authentically shift into greater happiness and authentically shift into greater peace. Because we know, and we've talked about here so many times before, that feeling good does not come about from forcing ourselves to feel good when we don't feel good, because we cannot outsmart the universe. The universe is always going to be responding to how we really feel and not how we're pretending to feel. So authentically shifting into feeling good or shifting into an authentic feeling good feeling is the key. Yes, and so the dazzles help us do that. The dazzles help us do it. So Today I want to give you a dazzle, and this dazzle is you wanted to want something. You wanted to want something and strive for something. Yes, so today's dazzle is an awareness, if you will. I wanted to want something and I wanted to strive for something. And now you might be thinking, Danielle, this doesn't sound like much of a dazzle to me. How does knowing that I wanted to want something and how does knowing that I wanted to strive for something supposed to lift my mood? You're telling me the dazzles are supposed to lift my mood. They're supposed to make me feel good. But quite frankly, I spend every day, somewhat painfully, right, being aware that there's a lot that I want that I don't currently have. And honestly, I think I prefer to not be reminded. Yes? So how does being reminded of I wanted to want something and I wanted to strive something, how is that an energetic shift? How is that a dazzle really? How is that supposed to help me feel better and help me feel happy? Yes? And so today's dazzle is a perspective shift. It's a perspective shift on wanting. It's a perspective shift on wanting and therefore an opportunity to embrace the concept of wanting. To no longer see it and feel it from a lack perspective, but rather from an abundance perspective. wanting is a glorious game. Wanting is part of the ultimate glorious game. It is grand. And it is exciting and it can be thrilling. It is a beautiful box of sort of endless presents to unwrap. Yes, it's like as if you had one big box and you open this box and it was just filled with all these other boxes. Yes, you're like, oh my goodness, there's just one present after the other. Yeah, wanting is a nod, if you will, to our limitless nature and to our ability to create and to create and to create and to create again and again and again. Wanting, therefore, is a good thing. And let me explain, let me give a little more context to this. Hi, Ellie, I'm so happy to see you. Thank you for being here. So, time, yes, time, time. One does tend to measure one's progress in many areas in life by time. How long does it take to achieve this thing or that thing or the other? And then one thinks usually it should take this amount of time, or better yet, it should take less time to have this thing that I want. But then there are those things in life, and this really speaks to all of us, there's those things in life that don't fit that expected timeline. It doesn't fall into this neat order of how we expect things are going to happen for us, how our wantings are going to come to us, how our dreams and desires are going to unfold, right? And when we're going to receive them. So those things that are taking so much longer than it seems they have taken other people to have. And these various things, they tend to fall into, depending on the person, they fall into some major categories, right? Like romantic relationship, career success, parenthood, the attainment of material possessions, whatever you might imagine that is, a home, a car, a second home, perhaps, fortune, fame and fortune. Yes, so the list can be long, but those are some of the most popular ones for humans, right? Those are some of the major things that we really want. And if you were to look at this list, if you were really going to sit back and look at this list, as you might other goals in your life, other wantings in your life, you would most likely prioritize them, right? You wouldn't try to tackle them all at once. You would want to have probably some kind of orderly progression to the receiving of those things in your life. So you likely would tackle one at a time, or maybe two, or maybe even three, but definitely not all of them at once, yes? So while time does matter because we're getting older, we just are, right? It also has its own form and function. Time is this gradual ladder. It's one step after the other, yes? As you walk up, as you get to where it is that you want to go, these wantings, if you will, these desires. And so there are many reasons for some things not coming into your life together in as timely of a manner as you would think would be possible. And I want to share with you some of those primary reasons, which I hope, which I think, which I believe will help you skip on towards your magnificent intentions and towards your magnificent goals with greater ease and greater surety. Yes? For wanting, the creation of the more that wanting does inspire is decidedly human and therefore divine. Yes. So this is more of a metaphysical approach on why you don't have what you want right now, but please just sit with it and see how it feels for you and how it resonates with you. Yes. So number one, you wished for the human experience. This is quite metaphysical, but just stay with me. You wished for the human experience, and wanting and hoping and wishing for something is one of the most basic of human emotions and experiences. We did not wish, when we decided to come have this experience on earth as us in these physical bodies, we did not wish for instant manifestation. We wished for the journey. We wished for, as I'm sharing with you right now, we wished for the feeling, we wished for the experience of wanting, of coming into the awareness that I have yet another desire, and yet another desire, and yet another desire, and then being along the path of feeling my way into the creation of that desire, the creation of that want, and the having of that want. So we didn't want instant manifestation. We wanted to feel what it felt like to want something, to hope for something, to dream of something, and to then little by little by little by little walk into the experience of the having of that thing. Yes? Yes? So we wanted the human experience, and wanting is one of the most basic, and hoping is one of the most basic of human emotions. Number 2, which is the dazzle of the day. You wanted to want something and strive for something, which is somewhat like number 1. They all are inextricably linked. Yes, the first reason that I gave to you, they're very supportive of one another, but you wanted to want something and you wanted to strive for something. We did. If you had it all, really think about this and feel into this. If you had it all, you wouldn't be working towards more. And in particular, you wouldn't be working towards bettering yourself and raising your energy, right? And learning how to be consistently in a better mood as we practice here together. Most likely, if you just had it all at once, you would live with a bored feeling. You would live with a kind of over it feeling, just over it. Nothing would really feel inspiring. It would be a bit of an uninspired life because you would just have what you want like that. Well, now I just have it. Right? So the fun of wanting something, the fun of dreaming towards something, the fun of desiring, the fun of creating the experience that you want to have, we wouldn't have anything of. It would just be instant. Like, now I have that, and now I have that, and now I have that. And you would just be over it. Think about when certain things you have wanted have come very easily to you, or it has felt more like instant manifestation. You have it, and then you're happy for just a bit, and then you're over it, right? You're like, on to the next thing. Yes? Yes, it's not very long-lasting, if you will, right? So if we had it all at once, what would there be left to dream, if you will, to journey towards, to yelp in joy about once achieved? There wouldn't be very much because we would just have it all. So you didn't want to gorge on the proverbial candy box, if you will, right? You didn't just want to open the C's or the Godiva candy box and just eat them all at once. You wanted to take out one piece of chocolate at a time, and you wanted to let it melt in your mouth, if you will. And you wanted to really enjoy that flavor sensation. Oh, that's so yummy. Oh, this one has a little sea salt in it. Oh, this one has a little caramel in it. Oh, this one's a dark chocolate instead of a milk chocolate. If you were just to stuff all 23 pieces of chocolate in your mouth at once, it wouldn't be very pleasant. You would have a stomach ache, right? You might get a headache from all the caffeine. Yeah, you might even throw up because it's just too much at once. Yes? So you wanted in some ways to learn to wait for the gemstones in life, for the gold mines, if you will. You wanted to learn to wait so that when you get what you want, your mood and your energy will be ultra high. Yes, you will quite literally be soaring. You will be so happy. You will feel such life satisfaction. You will feel such appreciation for the having of the wanting, for the having of the dream, for the having of the desire, that you will literally just feel so thrilled and so excited, not just for an hour, if you had just gotten it like that, or a day, or even a week, or a month. You'll literally be so lit up for years, right? For long periods of time. You'll just be able to soak in that satisfaction and soak in that appreciation. And so if you were to have gotten this gemstone, if you were to have gotten all that you wanted, if you had gotten that gold mine, if you will, instantaneously, all at once, you would have admired the baubles, so to speak, and then just kind of put it away. Yes? So I do hope that this gives you and shares with you a little more context around why some things that you're wanting haven't happened yet, so to speak, have not manifested yet, have not come into your reality yet. Now, there can be other reasons having to do with your emotional state, with your psychological state, with belief systems, with thought systems. And we do talk about a lot of those and explore a lot of those reasons here as well in Radiant Living and in these conversations. But today I wanted to offer you a little bit of a grander perspective, a little more of a 30,000 foot view on why you may not have everything on your wanting list quite yet. Yes? And that's because you wished for the human experience. You wished for the human experience, and you wished to feel what hoping felt like, and you wished to feel what wanting felt like, and you wished to feel what dreaming felt like. not instant manifestation, because there is very little dreaming or wanting or hoping in instant manifestation. There is virtually none. Yes, and hoping and wanting and dreaming is one of the most basic of human experiences. It's what makes us human. Number two, you wanted to want something, which is related to number one. You wanted to strive towards something so that when you achieved it, when you experienced it, when it came into your reality, you really felt how satisfying it felt to have the thing you want. And you really felt to your core the level of appreciation for the having of that thing that you really wanted, versus if you had just gotten it instantaneously, if you had gotten it all at once, if you had gorged on it, if you will, and it kind of made you a little like sick and gave you a headache and maybe threw up. It would just be too much at once to appreciate. It'd be too much at once to feel satisfied about. We would be overwhelmed. So you wanted to pick up each piece, each chocolate from the candy box, and you wanted to let it melt in your mouth, and you really wanted to savor the experience of wanting your desire, of wanting your dream, and then being on the journey of creating it, and then the receiving of it. Yes, it really is quite a sacred experience. And if we can allow ourselves to respect that experience, if we can allow ourselves to respect the beauty of it, if we can allow ourselves to respect the magic of it and the grace of it, yes, then we can allow ourselves to just relax a little bit, pull those shoulders down, relax into and really appreciate the experience of, the feeling of, and the concept of wanting and wanting more. And not be inside the experience and the feeling of wanting from a place of lack and scarcity and limited mindedness and the experience of limitation, but rather in the feeling of joy and thrill and anticipation of, ooh, I thought of something else I want. How fun it is to create what I want. Ooh, I thought of another thing that I want. How fun it is that I keep thinking of the next thing and the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Because it does add sort of the spice of life. Again, if you had it all at once, you would just be bored. What would you be inspired to do? What would you be inspired to dream about? There would be very little. What would you be motivated by? There'd be very little. So wanting the next thing, the next thing, and the next thing, coming into the awareness, there's there's yet something else that I want, and something else that I want, and something else that I want, truly is one of the greatest gifts of being human. I hope you feel that. I hope that you'll be open-minded and open-hearted about this concept, because then every time we want something, we don't have to be inside the wanting from a feeling of lack and not enoughness, but inside the wanting from a place of, ooh, I just thought of a new adventure I'm going to go on. Right? I just became aware of a new desire to know, a new dream that means so much to me, and this means a new adventure, and how exciting. I'm so excited. Where should I begin? Where shall I begin? Yes? I do hope that this conversation has served you today and given you a bit of a perspective shift on the feeling and the experience of wanting, that it is so common, that it is so normal, and actually, quite honestly, is quite divinely human. Yes, and you could see wanting and feel wanting and experiencing wanting from a place of excitement and anticipation of, ooh, what's around the bend next, right? What's going to be inside the next chocolate I pick out of this chocolate box? I'm so excited to see. Yeah? Okay. If there's no questions for me, and it doesn't look like there are any questions, ladies, thank you for tuning on live. I'm so appreciative for you. If there are any questions when you watch this later on, or if there are any questions as you just let this simmer in, go ahead and put it in the comments below, and I will respond to you in just a little while. Thank you so much for being here. Carrie, thank you so much for being here. I'm so appreciative. I hope this really served you. Okay, ladies, have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, and I'm so excited to see you again next week. Mwah. Oh, and I have more genie bottles. I'm going to post a picture about the genie bottles. We have more genie bottles. If that's something you like to gift yourself or gift someone you love, it's so magical and fun. So I do hope you think about that. Okay, see you soon. Bye.